took a couple of the banners and ones that you hold on to on the back.
Been demonstrated nationally that the winners are the ones who stick around, because this world should belong to everyone, not just the banksters who would smash it to the ground. Because we've noticed voting doesn't change things when the politicians are mostly millionaires. Because we're learning how to stand up like Tunisians, like they did in Tahrir Square, where a young man named Mohammed Bouazizi, he struck a match that lit up all the earth. And all around the world the spell was broken, and a movement for the future was in birth. Because there's only so much shit the rich can feed us before we figure out which side we're on. Because we've learned if we want our liberation, it will only come if we stay here till the rising of the dawn. So we're gonna stay right here. We're gonna stay right here. Because corporations are not people, and we can't just let them choose. Because if we leave our fate to them, then all of us will surely lose. Because the climate clock is ticking, and we can't just leave our world behind. Because corporate rule isn't working, and it's time for humans' hearts and minds. Because you can't take it with you, because the rich just do not care. Because it doesn't matter how much you make, but how much you can share. Because these moments don't come often. Because we want truly to be free. Because we know what really matters. Something called society. So we're gonna stay right here. 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 First you told us only through you that we know God, and if we dared to question, He wouldn't spare the rod. For you we worked the soil, for you we dug the moors, for you we shed our blood, fought so many pointless wars. And now you're trying to tell us there's nothing we can do. You say the world around us belongs fairly to the few, but about 6 billion people no doubt will agree this world is our home, not your property. It's the commons, our right of birth. And you who would enclose the land all around the earth, our future is your downfall when we cut this ball and chain. You who'd sacrifice the public good for your private gain. With our sweat we built the railroads, built cities on these shores, but because you own the money, you say that it's all yours. We laid the phone lines and the pipelines, and then right before our eyes you say these things are taxes paid for. You now will privatize the hospitals, you privatize the schools, privatize your rules, and preparing for the day when all the wells run dry. You say you own the very rain that falls down from the sky, but it's the commons, our right of birth. And you own the music all around the earth. Our future is your downfall when we cut this ball and chain. You would sacrifice the public good for your private gain. That was supposed to be You Go on the Water. That doesn't make sense there, the music. That's the next verse, but anyway, here we go. This is live in person, out of tune even. You try to tell us, you say you own the harvest, and you Terminator seeds. You own every animal that breeds. You claim to own our culture and the music that we play, and with each song that we download to your coffers we must pay. You would even own my name, and you'd say it's for the best. Maybe you'll let us on your radio if our thoughts can make your test. You own country, you own western, you say you've given us a choice. You may own the airwaves, but you'll never own my voice. It's the commons, our right of birth. And you would own the music all around the earth. Our future is your downfall when we cut this ball and chain, you'd sacrifice the public good for your private gain. It's the commons, our right of birth, and you would own everything all around the earth. Our future is your downfall when we cut this ball and chain. You'd sacrifice the public good for your private gain.
This is Radical Richard here at the anti-austerity rally, and it is a big day here. We hope for a day against austerity, and as usual, there are lots of cops. I guess that's all.
You've noticed lots of cops around, right, Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll be aware of that.
Yeah.
Keep our eye on it. Okay, thanks for being here, Rich.
Yeah.
It's a sing-along. They're all sing-alongs, but this one has a chorus, which makes it easier. Actually, they all have choruses, but of the ones I just did, anyway. But the problem with sing-alongs is you can't sing along till you learn the song. By that time, it's over. That's why it's more useful if you're Pete Seeger or somebody. It's somebody's heard before. Read to get some song. I went to play at the playground to do things I like so much. Run with my friends, play make-believe, swing on the swings and such. But this morning I went to the playground and bullies were guarding the swings. They knocked over the slide, dumped out the sandbox, took away all of our things. This playground is run by bullies, and they're all so big and mean. But this playground was made for all of us, and we're gonna change this scene. Well, all of us were scared of the bullies. They were so big, and we were so small. Till somebody said if we organized, we could be 10 feet tall. We stood on each other's shoulders, put blankets over our heads. We looked like monsters and we roared like lions, and those bullies ran home and hid under their beds. This playground was run by bullies, and they're all so big and mean. But this playground was made for all of us, and we're gonna change this scene. Well, we got that playground back, but then we looked across the street, saw the sewage plant belching out smoke, poisoning the ground under our feet. It's giving us all asthma, and the hour is getting late. So we marched across the way, and we blocked that factory gate. 'Cause this world is run by bullies, and they're all so big and mean. But this world was made for all of us, and we're gonna change this scene. This world is run by bullies, and they're all so big and mean. But this world was made for all of us, and we're gonna change this scene. Thank you very much.
Applause for that. We're going to be moving right on through. Again, I'm your MC today with Mario. My name's Eatsley. Mario. So, I want to tell you a quick story. How many of you know who Annette Steele is? Yeah! Alright, so for those of you who don't know, she's a 79-year-old African woman, lives out in Northeast. She walked from Northeast to Lake Oswego for 20 years, every day to clean people's houses. And you all know people in Lake Oswego tend to be pretty rich, right? So this woman walked for every day for 20 years to these people's houses to clean their houses to be able to make a living and pay off her mortgage. A few years ago, the banks told her that she had to pay her mortgage, well, not once over, not twice over, three times over. And that's ridiculous. They were going to kick her out of the house, and the bankers told her that she would be living in a cardboard box. I'm not lying. I didn't make that up. I can't make this evil up. So we got together as a community and we let them know, we moved her back in the house and we let them know that these people are not going to be able to be moved out of their house anymore. We're going to be standing up to move people back in their houses unevictable, right? So big shout out to Annette Steele and all the other people resisting eviction right now. And that's what austerity looks like. And this is what resistance looks like to austerity, right? So, a little bit about PAL. PAL mobilized on the Saturday before the election because no matter who is elected, both parties are pushing an economy of austerity to balance the budget on the backs of working people. Direct action is our movement's strongest tool to defend our communities and resist this economic system. And let me explain a little bit about what that means. No matter who is elected, we need to put pressure on them to make sure that we don't keep getting screwed, right? If Obama goes into office, if Romney goes into office, we need to be able to hold whoever's in office accountable. And if you're like me, you don't think anybody should be in office. But I know we're all here together today. We all have different ideologies. We all believe in different political things. We believe in different faiths, different political movements. But we can stand together on this. I'm saying that austerity is wrong, and that we obviously need to get together to put pressure on those in power to stand up for our rights and for the things that we believe in. So I want to thank you all for being out here today.
Yeah, I just want to remind all the speakers to please, if you're scheduled to speak, we need you up at the stage. And, all right, y'all. Yeah, if you're speaking today, please come up so we can get this moving. And there are sign-in sheets circulating. Anybody that has a clipboard right now with a sign-up sheet from PAL, can you please let it be known out there, folks? There we go, one right here. Sign up. Hello? Yeah, sign up with them if you want to plug into PAL after this. There's one right in front of me too, right next to me, right over here. Good looking out, everybody. And there is a group organizing a community forum on austerity to keep this momentum building and plan new ways to destroy the austerity economy. This is planned for November 17th. Sign up and you'll get sign up with them folks and you'll be able to join in on that anti-austerity, organizing. So first up to speak will be from the Commonwealth of Cascadia. We got Sam. Give it up for Sam, y'all.
Hey everyone, so we're here today because our dreams don't fit in their ballot boxes, so we made ballots specifically for our dreams. So this is the official ballot of the Commonwealth of Cascadia, and it asks 5 questions. I dream of a world where, in my neighborhood, that world would look like. I feel most alive when, if there was nothing holding me back, I would, and the things holding me back are. If you can, please answer these questions as honestly as you can. We want to hear exactly what you want to see out of this movement. This is a people's movement. If we're not working for everyone, we're not doing our job. So let us know what you want. And what we're going to do is we compile all of the answers into word clouds, where the words that come up most often get bigger. So we can sum up in one word our collective common ground, the things that we're all talking about, that we all want, and we can work as a community in the spirit of direct action to make those things happen for us on our terms. Thank you very much. If you guys want to have this and bring this into your community, put it in a local coffee shop. If you want to help spread this idea, if it gives you any ideas at all, please contact me. The website is votecascadia.tumblr.com, and let's see what we're all thinking about and how we can get it together. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. My name is Ilona, and I'm here with my friends from the Radical Choir. If you do not have a chant sheet that we put together with songs and chants, please get one at the art table over there. And tonight we're going to be teaching you a few songs that we're going to be singing along the way with the brass band, what's this? Sin Permiso brass band. So here goes. The first song we're singing is Bella Ciao. It's an Italian folk song that was rewritten by Chumbawamba. And yes, they are an anarchist band. world is waking outside my window. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Turn my senses into the sunlight, for there are things that I must do. Wish me luck now, I have to leave you. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. With my friends now, up to the city, we're gonna shake the gates of hell. We will show them, yes we will show them. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. That their fences can be broken and they cannot escape our power. And I will tell them, yes we will tell them. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. That our sunlight is up for franchise and wish the bastards drop down dead. Next time you see me, I may be smiling. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Me in prison or on the TV, I'll say the sunlight dragged me there. Wish me luck now, I have to leave you. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We've been friends now, up to the city. We're gonna shake the gates of hell. We're gonna shake the gates of hell.
Check 1, 2.
Second song we're going to be performing is one that's going to call and respond so that when we're out marching, you guys can sing along, okay? And it's called Fuck Austerity. If you're familiar with We Are Family, it's a parody of that. So, shall we? Okay.
You may reference the...
Yeah, please reference the song sheet. And so it goes. Fuck austerity. You guys got to sing it with us. Fuck austerity. Wall Street stealing from you and me. Build community. Where we will rise up and sing. Okay. Alright, that's enough of that. And the last one is that we're going to be singing on this march is Let's Talk About Debt, which is a play of Let's Talk About Sex. And it goes like this. Let's talk about debt, baby.
Let's talk about poverty. Let's talk about all the money loving taken off of me. Let's talk about debt. Let's talk about debt.
Woo! So, please, again, remember to grab a song and chant sheet. They're back there. And if you can grab some art as well, that would be awesome. We've been working really hard to make that.
So we're going to keep on moving right on through. We're going to be meeting with Jobs with Justice pretty soon. So if the Jobs with Justice speaker could come up here and get ready to speak. How many of y'all know Jobs with Justice? That's right. We got some positive response to that. Yeah, we're all coming together. As I said, different organizations. We got witches, we've got anarchists, we've got Jobs with Justice, we've got unions, we've got teachers. You know, this is inspiring to me because it shows me that no matter how many differences we have, when it comes to standing up for our economic rights, we can come together. And then when we come together, we know that we can win, right? Because the working class against the 1%, against the bourgeoisie, against the owners of this society, there's a lot more of us than there are of them. So we know we can win.
In order to redistribute for fair and just society.
All right, so the next speaker we have is Camilla? What the hell is that? All right.
Next speaker is up from Jobs with Justice, Camillo. Give it up, y'all.
Someone's got a model of the drone over here. Fund education, not war.
Greetings. I'm Camilo Marquez from Jobs with Justice Healthcare Committee. I'm going to talk to you today about the grand bargain. Have you heard of the grand bargain?
Yes.
It's a deal between Obama and the Republicans to give up some of our hard-earned benefits to Social Security and Medicare in exchange for tax cuts.
No way.
What he's offering is $2.50 of cuts to our hard-earned benefits for $1 of tax cuts for people who earn over $250,000. There's a group called Fix the Debt. This is a group of CEOs. They've raised already $30 million to promote this lousy deal. So what they're trying to get him to do is to agree to a cut of 0.3% in the Social Security cost of living increase. 0.3%, that doesn't sound like very much, does it? But in 20 years of retirement, that's the equivalent of 3%. The richest 2% of the country are quarreling about a tax cut of the equivalent amount. They're also asking that we increase the age of eligibility for Medicare 2 years to 67. What that means is another 2 years, that is going to mean that the seniors who have to wait that long are not going to have insurance. Plus, the Obamacare has allowed the insurance companies to increase age-adjusted premiums by 3 times the amount of the basic premium.
There we go.
That means seniors are not going to be able to afford care and they'll have to go without. That's not a good deal. We've got to fix this. Yesterday, we brought this message to the Portland Business Alliance, which is the local chamber of commerce. We made our message very loud and clear. We spoke to them respectfully, clearly, directly, and they heard us. And as I said, they've got $30 million to raise this message to the people, try to get this debt deal approved by the people. We probably don't have $30 among us here, but we've got the people. And we've got to continue to mobilize and get the people out. Jobs with Justice has been working on this since the recession of 2008. And we have monthly meetings. There's the Economic Crisis Committee and there's Portland Rising. You can go to jwjpdx.org to find out about it. And we welcome all of you to join us. We want to educate people and raise our voices and increase the activism so that we've got a mass movement to oppose these people. Thank you.
All right, y'all. We got from the National Association of Letter Carriers, we have Jim. Give it up for Jim, y'all.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. A very, very important event being here. You're here to oppose, resist so-called austerity. We know what that means, right? Well, I represent letter carriers in the greater Portland area. We've been facing austerity in the Postal Service for way too long. We have over 100 vacant routes in the city of Portland. We need to bring people on, but they're starving us with jobs, and they've been taking our money. Congress, since 2006, has been stealing, and I repeat, taking from the Postal Service that's been off the budget since 1982, not a tax dollar used since 1982 for operations. They've been taking $5.5 billion to cover up their wars and other ventures. So, what we're here today to do is to say, don't kill the post office, save America's Postal Service. Save America's Postal Service. Thank you. And we're going to stop by the Holiday Park Post Office and have a few more speakers on this. But this struggle isn't new. Ronald Reagan came after us in the early 1980s. He tried to union bust then. He did bust the PATCO air traffic controllers. That's what this is about. Busting unions and eroding social programs. That's what it's about. So we appreciate you being part of our campaign to save America's Postal Service. It's been a long struggle ever since Benjamin Franklin created it 237 years ago. So let's keep it going. And here's the ABGs of austerity. It's about billionaires controlling, destroying everything for greed. Enough is enough. 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 Enough is enough.
I like that spirit. I like that spirit. This is for the people, right? Who's this for? Who's this for? Yeah, that's right. So right now we got Seamus coming up with the people's budget.
Hello. So I'm a volunteer at the People's Budget. We're a group that educates and organizes against government austerity cuts. We also educate about the lack of democracy and how these budgets are made. We educate about the unfair tax system that creates these budget deficits by favoring rich and corporations. We also demand solutions to austerity cuts, like drastically raising taxes on the rich and corporations. Our city is not broke. Our state is not broke. Our country is not broke. These are lies. There's been years of tax breaks that's been funneled the money to the 1%, and we want it back. We want it back to fund our schools. We want it back to fix our bridges and streets and roads. We want it back to hire social workers and teachers. We want it back to fully fund Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. So let's take it back. Let's take it back by building an anti-austerity movement like they have in Greece, and Spain, Italy, and Portugal. Let's unite our labor and community groups with common goals and collective actions to stop austerity in its forms. Enough is enough. Stop the cuts, and let's make the rich and corporations pay for the crisis they created. Thank you.
That was wonderful, Seamus. Good looking out. All right, y'all. We got the Student Organizing Coalition. Emily and Tim from the Student Organizing Coalition. Give it up for them, y'all.
Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Tim.
We're with the Student Organizing Coalition. How many of y'all have student debt? Woo! Okay, we're debtors too.
So, we're standing here today because more and more we see students pushed into poverty. We're struggling just to get an education while the banks make money off of our suffering. Millions and millions of us every day have to make artificial choices on whether or not we'll have enough to eat or whether or not our kids will have enough to eat. This is what austerity looks like. How many of y'all are flat broke? Every dollar we pay towards student debt goes towards making the banks richer and getting them bonuses. It's our education. And we pay, because of student debt, over $1 trillion into it. That's the biggest that's the biggest debt in the country. So, basically, this is what the system is set up to look like. This is what our education system looks like when it's run for profit. So, let's be very explicit. Our debt is their profit. Say it with us. Our debt is their profit.
And this isn't a coincidence. So our universities function as factories that feed prospective workers into a system, into a labor pool designed to keep us in low-paying jobs that offer absolutely no opportunity for us to pay back the loans that we were forced to take out to earn our degrees in the first place. And meanwhile, the coffers of the banks grow huge, our loan payments are hoarded or reinvested in private prison systems, the military-industrial complex, and for-profit learning institutions that completely devalue the entire concept of education.
That's why we're here to say enough is enough. Stop running our schools like corporations. Stop padding your pockets with our misery. Stop attacking our teachers' unions.
Start running our schools like schools. Start investing our money into our education. and give our faculty and our university workers the resources they need to do their jobs and the compensation that they desperately deserve. So, say it with us. Enough is enough. Strike debt.
Stand up, fight back.
Hey, y'all. So that message is really important to me because I've got about $60,000 of debt. I'm not planning on paying that back anytime soon. So right now we're going to have Susan from Save Our Schools coming up, and she's going to talk about more about how the 1% is taking over our schools and our lives.
Hi there, I'm Susan. I'm a parent. I'm one of the founders of Oregon Save Our Schools. We are a group of advocates that came together last year over concern that corporate interests were having more of a say in the public education than we were. We are here in solidarity with everyone and with our allies, the social equality educators, who will be making a stop today at the office of K-12 Inc. to highlight how this for-profit entity funnels our public dollars from our public classrooms into profits for their corporate boardroom. Please join us as we blow the whistle on K-12 Inc. Austerity in public education is pervasive. Oregon has the third largest class sizes in the nation. Last year, we would have needed to have hired 9,000 more teachers just to get to the national class size average, yet we cut hundreds more. And by the way, corporate-driven reforms like Race to the Top do nothing to solve this problem. They in fact make education worse. So thank you, Portland teachers, for saying no to that. In higher education, Oregon is 45th in student and per student spending. Meanwhile, we have one of the lowest corporate tax rates in the nation and the absolute lowest on the West Coast. And then we have an Oregon Education Investment Board that isn't doing a damn thing to invest in our students. Parents, students, teachers, and community, we need to unite and stay united because enough is enough.
I'd like to thank Susan for that. That was a wonderful speech. That was great. That was great. Also, a couple quick announcements. One, there's food behind all y'all at the what is it called? The benches behind everybody. There's some food over there if people want a snack before we march. And if you are part of the PDX Bike Swarm, which is one of the dopest crews out there as far as I'm concerned, they're meeting up right back here on the cement part behind the stage. So next we got from the legal team, Noah. Give it up for him.
How's everyone doing? That's what I want to hear. So, I am not an attorney. I am not a law student. Why am I on the legal spoke? Because we all can take initiative to knowing our rights and knowing what we need to do to keep ourselves straight in the streets and in activism and keep our friends safe. What I'm going to do real quick is do something that you probably all already know. Alright? We're just going to do a little call and response here. If your police approach you and they ask you questions, if you're under arrest, if you're being detained, or if you're just walking down the street, if you want to be smart and you want to be safe, you say, I am going to remain silent. I would like to speak with my attorney. You all want to do it with me? Yeah. I am going to remain silent. I would like to speak to my attorney. One of these things is good. Both of them together is better. If you speak after that, if you're arrested, you lose that right. Keep saying it. Keep invoking it. Don't stop. Be quiet. Also, always say, if an officer says, what do you have in there? Can I search that? What does that do? You say, I do not consent to a search. If they say, you're under arrest and I'm going to search you anyways, you say, I am not going to consent to a search. Good. It keeps you safe, keeps others safe. There's 3 parts of a police encounter. There's conversation, there's detention, and then there's arrest. Conversation. How are you doing today? You enjoying the weather? You like this march? Yes, officer, thank you. I'll see you later, bye. If you're worried that you're not free to go, you say, officer, am I free to go? I'm going to remain silent. If they don't say no, slowly walk away. If they say yes, you're free to go, walk away. If they say you're being detained, you're in detention. Your rights are somewhat lessened. At that point, they are allowed to hold you with reason that you may or may have not committed a crime, yada yada. They're going to do it. Don't argue. But you still say, I am going to remain silent, and I do not consent to a search. The only thing you have to do at that point is, heck, you don't have to do almost anything at that point. Just leave it as that. If you're under arrest, that's when your rights are diminished. That's when they're allowed to search you. Even though they're allowed to search you, what should you say? Wait, what was that? I don't know.
I do not consent to searching.
Great, absolutely. Quick reminder for everyone, and this should be self-evident. If things get if the police are violent and you don't want to get hurt, try to keep in mind and try to figure out what ways you can go to get out of a situation. If you support this march and if you want to be at the forefront, make your own decisions and make the safe ones. But just keep in mind that from our own personal experience, it doesn't matter if you're on the sidewalk, it doesn't matter if you're on the streets. If the police think they want to arrest you, they're going to arrest you and hurt you. And please keep that in mind. I hope you all have a great march. Let's keep safe. Let's keep strong. Enough is enough.
To Noah for saying that. That's all really important information. We want to make sure that we keep safe. One way to keep safe is to stay tight. Stay together with your comrades. Don't let the police isolate you. Because when you get isolated, then you get arrested. So, quick thank you. My man William made this stage this morning in a couple hours. It was amazing, amazing work. My man Mike Crenshaw is going to come on right now. He's a local musician, and you've probably heard of him before.
I heard when I touched the mic, which is pretty much what I do, there's a problem.
Sounds good.
Now, I'm only going to be up here for a minute. We had something like, like 19 speakers or some crazy thing, and everybody was supposed to have 60 seconds, so I'm going to try to put a little bit of rhythm to it. I just needed to make sure my band was working. What? We got a left hand glove. Ooh. All right, man, I'm gonna set it off like this. When I say revolution is, I want you to say right here. You feel me? When I say liberation is, I want you to say right here. You feel me? When I say people power is, I want you to say right here. All right? Revolution is right here. Liberation is right here. People power is right here. Every city, every hood, every block, everywhere. Liberation is right here. Revolution is right here. People power is right here. Every city, every hood, every block, everywhere. Now, during the march, I'm gonna be one of these people that has a bullhorn. There's gonna be all types of things happening. So when you hear that call and response, you know what to do. Revolution is right here. Liberation is right here. People power is right here. Every city, every block, every park, everywhere. All right? Yeah. Now the next one, I know you heard a lot about what austerity is. We know this in our molecular structure, right? We feel it every day. So the next one is a little bit more complicated. I'm not going to explain austerity because we feel it. It is no more poverty, we've got clarity. No more poverty, we've got clarity. Their austerity, our prosperity. Their austerity, our prosperity. No more poverty, we've got clarity. Their austerity, our prosperity. You know why? Because as long as the system is going to evolve, I'm going to do everything I can to get involved because this system is a parasitic vampire. Okay? So the austerity is because it's in crisis and I'm going to kick it while it's going down. You feel me? I'ma cut it while it's bleeding. And I'ma stand on top of that motherfucker and hold it down so we can get free. And that's what it is. Revolution is. Liberation is. People power is. Every city, every block, every hood, everywhere. Yeah. Music could probably come up a little bit. You know. Check it out, y'all. Determination in the face of extermination. Beat permeating, we overcome over drugs. Peaceful in nature, though a deep-seated hatred. Fear and ignorance controls someone's holding guns. Aimed at my folks, and the pain that provokes insanely explosive. Chains must be broken. Reins that I'm holding must keep taking me forward with faith. I move toward destinations that come. You can try to stop me or block my path. My side is not weak. You pop, we laugh. Try to kill, restricting me quickly heals my injuries. Reveals divinity, saps a zeal of enemies. My will presented me with the real ability. Bend divinity to the frame of my path. Name that I have, fit the role that I play. I capture the spirit, don't need to give it away. Liberation is right here. Revolution is right here. People power is every city, every block, every hood, everywhere. Liberation is. People power is. Housing justice is. Every city, every block, every hood, everywhere. I don't battle MCs. I battle ideology and shadowy schemes that shadow my reality. I'm not coming from a position of righteousness. I exist amidst the same conditions of strife and stress. Aggressively creative for spiritual reasons. Survival of my people, liberation and freedom. I don't battle MCs. I battle ideology and shadowy schemes that straddle my reality. Liberation is. Revolution is. People power is. Every city, every block, every hood, everywhere. Liberation is. Revolution is. People power is. Every city, every block, every hood, everywhere. Yeah. All the working class people, all the teachers, all the parents, all the students, we are heroes. Check it out. Blast off, no dust or bath salts. Mind in the cosmos, feet touch the asphalt. I'm an antenna between heaven and earth. I am the difference between death and birth. My persistent existence contradicts conditions. Let's be realistic, switch the statistics. Not to mention surviving this shit. White supremacists, police, and addiction. Life is a struggle, you face it and change it. Fighting for your right, survival is dangerous, heroic. The notions and deeds of a poet. The system is weak, so the people overthrow it. That's what I teach to my seeds when they're growing. By the time they reach their teens and they know it, I show it through my activity and focus. They see what I read, who they meet, and they notice. You know what I'm talking about? You know. Check it out. What we doing? Fighting for our rights. Fighting for our rights. It goes, yeah. We are our own superheroes collectively. And what it is? All power to the people. I'm a superhero. For real, power to the people. How would they feel? Freedom, that's what we're here to build. Fight to win, we do, we will. We are our own superheroes. Fighting for our rights, y'all. Who are we? We are our own. And what it is? All power to the people. People, how you feeling today? You know we in the war, right? We know the battle. We're in a class war. It's a protracted struggle. It's been going on before we got here. We stand on the backs of giants that laid down their lives and lived their lives and stayed living so that we can continue to struggle. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah! That's why every mind is thinking, every heart is beating, every set of lungs is breathing, every pair of feet that's going march is marching today. We understand this. And I'm going to live my life doing what I got to do. You know, I wrote a little bitty love song today. I posted it on my little Facebook page. People got excited. It was like, oh yes, love, love. They thought I was talking about a person. They thought I was talking about a woman, a partner. Yeah, I love my people, I love my family, but what I was talking about when I talked about love was I talked about this idea that I hold on to that keeps me up at night, that gets me out of bed every day when I put my feet on the floor and I get up and I get dressed and I feed my child and I walk out the door and I do what the fuck it is I got to do. I know that what I'm in love with. We might have only a glimpse, only a taste, but we know intuitively what it is. What I'm in love with is freedom. Can you feel me? And I know we got a bunch of different ideas of what it is, but to me what it is, since we live in this material world, I want to have food, clothes, shelter, education, healthcare, peace, and land, because only when we have our basic necessities met do we get to contemplate our potential. And as long as you want to spend trillions on a war in the police state and create terror and say you're fighting a war on terror and have a military industrial complex that locks people up and destroys our lives, then we know that shit has got to stop. So thank you very much for being here. And I'm going to say this before I bounce. Going on in this city, we have a fight for housing justice. We have families that are fighting to stay inside of their homes. Last week, we had the sheriff and the police show up with pepper spray, shotguns, and the whole nine to kick a poor working class family out of their home. We got the banks and the property developers having empty houses so they can turn it for a buck while people are about to be homeless. We have people who are houseless living in the streets while we got buildings sitting empty. We have tenants struggling with their predatory landlords. And the time is now. I said food, clothes, shelter, shelter. The time is now for our community to move forward, united on all these issues. But I'm here to say I want to work with the people on housing as a human right. So when you hear news about us coming to community agreements and having meetings and moving this conversation forward, because we don't want to see any more evictions. We don't want to see any more empty houses. Their austerity, our prosperity. One love. Thank you. Let's go.
My man Mike was talking about freedom, right? How are we going to get to freedom? We got to organize. That's what we got to do to get to freedom. We got to get organized. I know there are over 25 organizations here today. If you're not part of an organization, join an organization. That's what it's going to take. It doesn't matter. Fine. If you don't like any of the organizations, make a new organization. But we have to get organized to get free, right? I'm part of an organization, and one of my comrades in that organization is going to come up to speak right now. His name is Ajama Umi.
Don't touch the microphone. Y'all all right? Yeah. That's better. Yeah. Austerity. Can we define it? I'm going to define it. Because to me, austerity is a big capitalist, elitist word that everyday people don't use, right? Do you sit at your dinner table? We're experiencing austerity this evening. No. So let's define it in terms that people use. Austerity is nothing except the fact that we live in a capitalist society, which is a society where profit is more important than people. It's a society where the means of production are owned by a few slugs, crooks, and criminals, and the rest of us work for them. And their priority is owning and controlling the entire planet and forcing any of us who stand up to them to crush us. And that's what austerity is, to take away any opportunity we have to live a productive life and challenge their rule. We got to understand that. We got to understand that, because some of us are confused. We think, well, during the Clinton administration, we had a positive economy and we need to get back to those days. The hell we do. Now, somebody said earlier that in Europe they're fighting against austerity right now. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you all know that in Africa, Asia, Central and South America, people have been living under austerity as a rule for decades and fighting against it? Do you know that? I lived in Guinea, West Africa in the early 90s. Day-to-day life was austerity. 1 meal every 2 days was the rule of thumb. So, this is not a new thing. What's happening is that the American capitalist system is in a severe state of decline. That's what's happening. And because of that, many people in this country who have up to this point lived off of the suffering of people in Africa, Asia, Central and South America, now you're feeling the pain too. That's what's happening. So the solution is we can't just ask for $100 more in the budget. That ain't the solution. That's not going to solve the problem, y'all. We can't just ask for that. We can't be satisfied with that. There's got to be a complete overthrow of this system. We've got to put a system in place. We've got to put a system in place that puts people over profit. The question is, who will own and control the means of production? Who will own and control the means of production? The answer can only be answered two different ways. Either some will own it or we'll all own it. And if you're for all of us owning it, that's socialism, y'all. I'm sorry. That's what it is. That's what it is. So we got to tell the truth up here today, right? I'm not trying to upset anybody, but that's the truth. So we have to create a socialist society that puts education first, that puts healthcare first, that puts elderly people first, that puts working people first. That's what we have to create. That's what we want to do. How do we do it? A couple of things. First, it doesn't matter. Some of you are excited about this election Tuesday. That's all right. But if you're going to engage in electoral politics, we can't just say, go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. You got to organize a strategy to hold the capitalist system accountable to working people's interests. You got to do that if that's what you believe in. You got to organize and make that happen. Some of us, me included, don't believe in the election on Tuesday. We believe revolution is the solution. But we can't be arrogant about that. We've got to go door to door. We've got to talk to people. My man talked about the community agreement. We've got to raise people's consciousness, get people to understand that when you're a worker for the city of Portland, your fight is not just to get higher wages for yourself. Your job is to unite with people fighting against this capitalist system all over the world. When you're a student in a university, your job is not just to get education affordable for yourself. Your job is to understand that you got to have education so you can make a contribution to make this society free and just for everybody that lives here. If you're sick, your job is not just to get health care for yourself. Your job is to get free, universal health care for every woman, every man, every child, for everybody that needs it in this society. So that's what we have to do. The way we do that, like my man said, everybody, you got to be in an organization. I don't care how bad you are. I know some of y'all are really fly out here. You're really smart, you look good, you're articulate, you're bad, you go in a club, everybody stops and looks at you. You still gonna die one day. You still gonna die. So you gotta be a part of a group that has similar ideas that you do. You can't do it by yourself. If one person could solve these problems, I would have solved it years ago. It's not gonna happen that way. It's only gonna happen when we come together as a mass like this. The police were here earlier. When all of y'all came, where they at right now? There's a few of them, but they stand way back there. That's where we want them, because I don't eat bacon. So we got to come together as people and organize together to fight and build this movement. Everybody in an organization. It doesn't matter which one you join. If you believe in electoral politics, organize for a system that holds it accountable. If you believe in revolution, organize people to understand the day-to-day struggle to bring this fight to where we need to take it. And don't be afraid to talk to one another. Don't be afraid of people up here. Don't be afraid of what they tell you in the news. Don't believe all this nonsense they're telling you. Don't believe what they told you about what we did on Tuesday. All we did was try to keep a family in their home. That's it. If that's a crime, take me to jail today. I'm going to do the same thing every day. If that's a crime, everybody should have a place to live. Everybody should have health care. Everybody should have education. Everybody should have a society free from white supremacy, from male supremacy, from homophobia. We don't want any of that. We're going to fight to eliminate it. We're going to fight for a socialist system. If you don't like it, then Disneyland is in Southern California, because that's the only thing that's going to solve these problems we're looking at today.
Yeah, hang on a second. So we're going to be moving this on. We're going to be moving out pretty soon. So we've got some announcements for you. You want to read them?
Sure. All right, everybody, we're going to be assembling the march in the cemented area that's all behind y'all when we give the break up after this little rally right here. So everybody make sure to be here for that, because that's why we're here. Everybody stay together and stay tight. If we drift apart, that's when the pigs have a chance to commit their violent acts against us. So the power is in our numbers. Stay together as one. There are people in the march with bullhorns who will be providing you with information as we march. Look to the people with white armbands for reliable information as well. And everybody stay calm, stay together, and stay behind the banner teams. And if we do encounter the police, let the banner teams and cop talker interact with the pigs. It will be all, we're going to be able to get back to the park, so don't trip. And yeah, make sure to assemble behind where y'all are at for once we're done here.
I already did. Hey, Doug. Joe, yeah. Where are we going? Any idea? Hello. Hey! Nice to see you again. T-Mobile.
Backwards. Better that way.
What about they have to do that? They didn't have to do that. It was uncalled for there, but like that's part of their job, whatever. But they were really